Yo guys, what's going on? And in today's video we're going to be doing one of the most requested videos I've had. We are back with a part 2 of a 1 to 100 soul challenge. But before we get into the video, just a quick disclaimer: nothing I say in this or any of my videos is financial advice of any sort. I'm not a financial advisor and NFTs are extremely risky, so please do your own research before investing in any project I mention. So last episode we managed to go from 1 soul to 34.32 soul in a week. We also ended up with 1 Bobos of War on our wallet, which is actually just taking a fat L, but it is what it is. This episode really makes up for it, so make sure you stay tuned. Now, the first project I invested into was a project called the Stoned Frog. I loved the look of these and I had also managed to get a whitelist spot. Some of the things I loved about this project were the fact that the team was doxed and there was a lot of hype. Also, the roadmap is great. They're creating their own cannabis farm, cannabis store, in real life event for holders, and they're creating so much more in the future. You can also use a utility token you got given, this is called Seeds, in their store to buy cannabis related products. Utility tokens with actual utility create value, which is always a good sign. They also had this mystery box idea where if you owned a frog you get a chance to win a prize post mint. I knew this would provide yet another incentive for people to mint. As you can see here on the website, not only are they creating an in real life coffee shop, they are also creating an online store with cannabis products, merchandise and so much more. So the only real negatives I had about this project before minting were firstly that there was not much information about the team. Yes, the team were doxed, but there wasn't much information about their past experience, what they have done in NFTs in the past, anything like that. It sort of made me wonder, would they actually be able to carry out this vast roadmap they have? Also, 8,400 NFTs was quite a high supply, but it proved not to be a problem post mint. Finally, there was not much of a demo of the game yet, so would the game actually be worthwhile playing? Would it be enjoyable? Would people like it? However, overall I thought these would do brilliantly and I wasn't wrong. I minted one for 1.75 soul, which took my total soul balance to 32.57 Solana. I then sold it post mint the next day for 6.25 Solana. This took my total soul value to 38.2 Solana after fees, meaning I'd made 3.9 soul on that flip. The reason I sold it straight away was usually high supply projects have a lot of paper hands. That being said, I thought the price could dump and provide me a good entry point in the future. I then went and picked up another Stone Frog off the floor for 4 soul a day later, taking my wallet value to 34.2 Solana and 1 Bobos of War. I'm still holding this frog as I believe they have long-term value and the current floor price at the time of recording is 6.45 Solana. Overall, this play was a great success and provided me even more liquidity for project. I called these at mint and at 4 soul on my Discord server, so shout out to them. Now, the next project I looked into was a project called Dead Rejects. The reason I liked the look of Dead Rejects was mainly due to the hype as well as the good art. It had around 30,000 followers pre-mint on Twitter and the art looked great. A lot of well-known influencers, investors were getting into this project. This was a pretty degen play for me at the time as there wasn't too much information on the project, so I sort of relied on the community, the art and the hype to pump my bag. So I ended up minting one of these for 1.75 Solana, taking my total soul balance to 32.45. These did a lot better than I expected and I was lucky to sell mine for 6.5 soul, which was just above the floor at the time. This project was another great success and took my soul total to 38.17 soul after royalties, along with a Stone Frog and a Bobos of War NFT. So I called these in my Discord as well, so shout out to the community. Dead Rejects are currently doing really well and they're sat at a floor of over 8 soul at the time of recording, so big up to them. So the second to last project I got into was a project called Decimus Dynamics. My initial thoughts on the project were that the art was incredible, honestly some of the coolest looking art I've seen in a Soul project. I'd also heard from a few of my friends in ETH that they were getting involved in the project, which is always a good sign hearing that Ethereum NFT enthusiasts are interested in Soul projects. There's a lot more money in the ETH space, so knowing they were getting involved was a big positive. Also at the time, the Meta and Solana NFTs was seen to be staking. This means that a load of projects that implemented staking were doing very well post-mint. This project was also extremely hyped up with around 15,000 or so followers on Twitter pre-mint. Finally, I took a look into the whitelist tokens that were ending up selling for 3 soul plus on Famous Fox's token marketplace. However, a few negatives I had about the project before getting into it were that there was no website at the time, not much information on the team, and the mint was 2 soul, which is quite high. However, I still decided to mint one for 2 soul, bringing my total soul value to 36.17 Solana. This was another profitable mint for me and I managed to sell it for 6.4 Solana the day after the mint. This was yet another great success for me, bringing my total soul balance to 41.93 Solana, along with 1 Bobos of War NFT and a Stone Frogs NFT. I also called these in my Discord server, so GG's to anyone who minted. So after these mints, I actually got COVID, so I was extremely ill and decided to take some time to recover. Never do I normally do this, but I haven't been so ill in a long time, so it's best just to take some time off. But the final play I made was literally insane. It changed the whole dynamic of this challenge and I couldn't be more happy with the results. So, I reached out to a project called OK Bears a few weeks ago and was able to secure my Discord server some whitelist spots, as well as myself one. I was extremely bullish on these. I loved the art, the website looked brilliant too, the roadmap was great. They're creating their own NFT marketplace with a partnership with Magic Eden, which is the biggest NFT marketplace on Solana. They're also creating in real life pop-up stores, and if you know me well, you know I love in real life utility. They also got marketing on billboards, in subways and on buses, which was cool to see. They created their own community lo-fi mixtapes for people to chill out to. They're also creating merchandise, partnering with fashion brands, in real life meetups and so much more. Honestly, after reading through the website, I was so bullish on these. They really create a sense of community and you can tell they're focusing on creating anything they can to improve the community. The only real negative I had was that the supply was 10,000. This was quite a high supply, so I wasn't expecting too high of a floor price post mint. Let's just say I was completely wrong. So I decided to mint one of these for 1.5 SOL and I tried getting more in public, but it sold out literally instantly. This took my SOL balance to 40.43 Solana. Initially, post mint, these were at a floor price of around 10 SOL, which was very tempting for me. I ended up selling it for 9.9 SOL, bringing my total SOL value to 49.3 SOL. This was brilliant, however this isn't just it. I saw these absolutely smash through the 10 SOL barrier, then 15 SOL, and decided to take the biggest risk of this challenge and pick one up for 15.3 Solana. This took my total SOL balance to 34 SOL. This was genuinely the biggest risk I could have taken so far for this challenge, but there are a few reasons as to why I did this. Firstly, OK Bears won popular collections on OpenSea, the biggest Ethereum NFT marketplace. They have integrated Sol NFTs recently, so it was big news to see it on the front page of OpenSea. To think that a Sol NFT collection was on the OpenSea popular collections must mean that some ETH players must have got into it. Also, after speaking to some of my ETH friends, they were telling me how people were going crazy over this project in the space. My whole Twitter was flooded with bears, big influencers changing their profile pictures to bears, ETH people tweeting about it, so I decided to take a gamble and it paid off like crazy. So after I bought this, I went to bed and I woke up in the morning and the first thing I do is check the floor price, 42 Solana. I was over the moon. I did not expect it to moon this much. Usually 10k supply projects don't do the best post mint on Solana due to paper hands. However, it was clear to me that Ethereum buyers were all in on this project. Gary Vee had bought one, multiple well-known ETH investors aped into them. It was absolutely crazy. I ended up taking profit at 43 Solana as this was insane for the challenge and didn't want to risk losing any of it. This took my total Solana balance from 34 SOL to 72.9 SOL after royalties. This was literally unreal and I was over the moon. Not only did I give away whitelist spots for this OK Bears, which are now worth 60 SOL or $6,000 at the time of recording, I also called them in the server. If you're not in my community, what are you even doing? Just come and join it. I post links daily on my Twitter. So ending this part, I was on 72.9 Solana, a Bobo's of War NFT and a Stoned Frogs NFT. We're definitely nearing the end of this challenge now, so I'm tempted to go from 100 to 200 SOL. If you guys would like to see this, let me know in the comments. I'm also going to be looking at a lot more secondary buys for the next part, as at the moment I've been mainly minting projects, as many projects are doing well post mint at the moment. So guys, that's going to be the end of this video today. If you guys did enjoy this video, please smash the like button and put in the comments below any video suggestions you have. Also, subscribe to my channel because when I hit 100 subscribers, I'm going to be giving away 1 SOL on my Twitter account.